Anber. I've been coaching boxing at both the professional and amateur level since 1979. During that time, I've had the opportunity to work with some great fighters, and I produced 4 Olympians and 1 world champion, not to mention countless national champions and medalists at all international games. It's been my pleasure to do so over the last 25 years. Here at Rival Boxing now, we want to bring you this DVD video showing you the basics of boxing. Pretty much the stance, the positioning, all the basics you need to get started in boxing. Now obviously, different people have different philosophies about boxing, but what we're going to try to bring you here is the basics and explain to you why I feel they're the best for your game. I think if you take a look at what we're doing here, I think you'll get a pretty good idea. Remember, a good boxing base is the start to anything, and in any sport, when you get a good base down, everything will improve from there on in. Before we start, I'd like to bring in the guy that's going to be helping me with this and doing the demonstrations. He's a 2-time reigning national champion. He's a 16-year-old, proud student of mine. His name is David Lemieux. David, come on in here. What we're going to do today, the first thing we want to start with is basically the stance. And when I get a kid who comes into the gym, that's the first thing we show them. How to stand, get into the good base, and how to move. So what we're going to do is we've got this piece of tape here on the floor. And David, if you'll just take your position as you know it, 1 foot on one side of the line, 1 foot on the other. Right here, what you see is this is where you've got a good balance. You've got the center of gravity, the line indicating the center of his body running right through his legs. This foot is well in front of his head, and his knee is slightly bent, but it's not mushy. Remember, the leg is not spaghetti. It's got to be firm. This is your base. This has to be nice and firm and solid. The back leg, on the other hand, you've got a nice heel-up action here, so he's got his weight poised on the front foot, on the ball of the foot here, keeping his body forward. This here shows a nice, beautiful angle as he's leaning forward. This is the perfect position to be in. From here, his hands would be right here. The right hand protecting the right side of his head, the left hand protecting the left side of his head. From this position, this is the basic boxing stance. From this position, this is where we will build his entire repertoire. The movement, backwards, forwards, left, right, everything will come out of this position. This is where he will maintain his stance regardless of what he does in the ring. So when I get a kid coming into the gym, this is the first thing we'll show them. From there, what we want him to do now is be able to move. Now, if you move forward, it's very important to remember when you go forward, the foot that moves first is the front foot. And we like to do this in kind of a rhythmic motion. Don't get into the habit of stepping and doing this. You start stepping backwards or forwards, left and right, and you're not going to develop any kind of rhythm. Your weight will never be in the right place, so you won't be able to get your punches off the way you want to. What you want to do is be able to move in a nice rhythm. Let's start with going backwards instead. We've got a little room here. So we want to go backwards. David, at this point, we're going to go backwards. Let's just slide on back. That's a nice little rhythm that you'll use. And then go forward, you do the same thing. You just get that nice little rhythm coming in. During that entire time, his position never changes. We'll do it again. He'll go backwards. The position never changes. Ready to go. Don't drop your hands. That's right. That's very important. Do it again. And backwards, and then forwards. That's that nice little rhythmic action. Now, if you want to go left or right, again, the same thing. Never come out of the stance that you're in. Nice and firm on the front leg. Back heel is up. And you do the same thing going left or right. David, make a little move. Go a little bit left for me. Just a little rhythm. And then change direction. Same thing. And then forwards and backwards. And just move left and right. Keep your hands up. Don't play with the hands. Once you get that kind of rhythm happening, this is the first thing we will do when kids come into the gym, regardless of the age, and they want to learn. That's pretty much the first thing we'll teach them. That nice movement, forwards and backwards, nice rhythm, keeping your hands up. Keep moving, David. Forwards and backwards, and bring it back, and left and right, and change it, and keep moving, and keep doing it, and backwards. You've got to keep repeating this. At first it gets, keep going. At first it gets somewhat monotonous for you, but right from that position is where you're going to be able to improve and become a better fighter. You'll be able to throw your punches a lot better when you can execute this kind of movement. When the kids come in and we got them doing this kind of stuff and they get it, everything just falls into place so much easier. So remember, the front foot nice and solid, back heel is up, hands are high, elbows are in, body's forward, and you're moving along left, right, back,